Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Straight.
Yes.
Motion passes.
21 on the agenda is approval of executive session items.
And here, I think we should, if I can either read it into the record, or if that's okay, I just want to read, I'm just going to read 2 through 5 so everybody knows. It wasn't part of the open packet, so I just wanted to, before we take action, it's done in open session. So, number 2, the union hereby agrees to withdraw all pending and contemplating complaints, charges, grievances, or litigation that is filed against the village with prejudice, including but not limited to the unfair labor practice charge S-CA-14-091 and S-CA-14105 and grievance number 13-9. The parties agree that the union will file the necessary withdrawal notices referred to in this paragraph after the execution of this agreement. The village agrees to split payments totaling $250,000 evenly among bargaining unit members that are not hired by the village subcontractor Norcom for any reason. This sum will be paid out to each of these employees in 4 equal lump sum payments over a period of 4 months. The first check is to issue with the regular village payday to begin January 31st, 2014 and end April 30th, 2014. Number 4, for any current emergency telecommunicators that enroll in the COBRA healthcare coverage on or after January 22nd, 2014, the village will pay for half of the eligible COBRA costs for a period of 3 months to the telecommunicators that provide documentation to demonstrate that they are currently enrolled in COBRA and the cost of their COBRA insurance enrollment. The village, number 5, the village agrees to pay the difference in the employee's health insurance contribution costs for any current telecommunicators that are hired by Norcom for the difference in the cost between the employee's current contribution costs for the village health insurance and the employee's contribution costs for the Norcom health insurance. The village will bridge this cost on a monthly basis to cease on December 31st, 2014. It goes on, paragraph 6 to 15 with some releases, and they withdrew a grievance that had been set to go to arbitration in exchange for it as well.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Properly moved by Trustee Carberry, seconded, I believe, by Trustee Olenichek. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Mayor.
Trustee Straight.
Yes, I think that this should be called the meeting of we were wrong. The manager and the attorney told us we could walk away from a negotiated collective bargaining agreement with the union. They were wrong. They told us we would save $890,000 over 2 years, but now we're paying a penalty, a settlement, of $250,000 to the union members that weren't hired by Norcom. We are also paying half of the COBRA payment for each of those employees for 3 months. We're also paying the 5 hired telecommunicators.
You just read that. Can you please?
We're also paying the 5 hired telecommunicators the difference in the employee contribution that they paid the village compared to the employers hired at Norcom.
Is this different than what the attorney just read?
Yes, it is.
Okay, please continue.
Over a year ago, we paid PSAP, Concepts and Solutions, to come up with a plan for privatization. Let's not forget that we paid our attorneys and our share for the mediator for the 9-hour bargaining session of mediation. And for the last year, we've been paying our attorneys to work on this issue. In total, we're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars because of the bad advice that we received on this issue, and I cannot support this settlement.
Well written.
Thank you.
Interesting you didn't share any of that with us until the camera turned on, Trustee Straight. Thank you. And any other comments on this item? Yes, Larry.
Given the hour, I'll keep it brief, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't share with the board and with our president. We've always said we're a fair employer, and we work very hard under the law with the presence of a mediator who, in my opinion, did an outstanding job trying to bring both parties together and come up with a fair solution, because that's how the village operates. And that was approved and that was executed by the representatives of the union, which you have before you for your consideration tonight and what you'll be voting on. I must tell you that it makes it very difficult for a manager and your village attorney as chief negotiator to negotiate when there's a divided board and when there's a message that's given to employees that the message is not really the factual message. And that leads to consequences, in this case, economic, quite frankly. That's all I have, Mayor.
And if I could, just on the likelihood of success, I don't think I ever said that. Had we litigated this to the eventual end, that we would have lost this case. It is still my belief now that had we gone forward and litigated this all the way, we would have been proven right at the end of the day before the labor board and the any other appeals from there.
Proven right that we could fire people under a
Trustee
union
Straight?
contract? Are you kidding?
That's my opinion.
Please recognize the chair if you have comments. Trustee Straight, thank you. Any other comments?
Obviously, they saw weakness.
I got one
Trustee
comment.
Desmond?
Now, as an attorney, I don't know if you can talk about this or not, but during the course of this, I seen the disciplinary record of some of these dispatchers, and I'll be honest with you, it was atrocious. It's no wonder that they weren't hired by the new company. Sending people to the wrong addresses. I don't want to go into that. It's after the fact. I've just, based on what else went on today, I think that's something that needs to be discussed.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully this is the end of it. It'll never again have to be discussed. But
I will say that the union never brought up in the mediation with the state mediator that was sent here from Springfield from the labor board that they thought they could have their jobs back or there was a contract. We only talked about negotiation. I think that was reflective of some of their work habits and things that had gone on. They weren't fighting for their jobs. They were only fighting to settle the contract and to get, we were here to help them bridge the gap. And I think that's what we were trying to do, is to help some of these folks on their way out the door.
And that's called effects bargaining at the end of the contract.
That's correct.
And again,
Make sure you write that.
if I could, President and Board, one thing that Pat O'Donnell has provided to this board that I think is just immeasurably valuable is thinking over multiple years from a planning and strategic and financial standpoint. That's the discipline he has from his background in the private sector. And he's been immensely, I think, helpful to staff, and we've enjoyed that relationship. This decision you're making is a long-term decision. Once the impact bargaining and the mediation that took place and the approval of this agreement is completed, you're talking about one-time payments versus long-term. We already know we have a dollar amount, what it will cost for the next 5 years. If we like the services of Norcom, we can continue in year 2, year 3, year 4,
We call the
5.
vote, Lou.
Fixed dollars.
Yeah. Okay, let's call the vote.
Trustee Quinlan.
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek.
Yes.
Trustee Desmond.
yes,
Trustee Carberry.
Yes.
Trustee Vorder.
Yes.
Trustee Straight.
No.
Motion passes 5-1.
Thank you.
Okay, we have item 22, a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Properly moved by trustee Oliniechek,
Second.
seconded by trustee Carberry. Any discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passes.